Welcome to God Pods, faith conversations from Boston College's Church in the 21st Century Center.
Welcome to God Pods. I'm Kiefer. Joy defines Advent. On Gaudete Sunday, this third week of Advent, it is time to light the rose-colored candle, rejoice, and be glad as we anticipate the hope and the wonder of the Christ child coming soon. So how do we rejoice in the waiting and continue preparing ourselves to be our best selves? The readings for the third Sunday of Advent help us. In the Gospel, we hear from John the Baptist again, as crowds flock to ask him how they should prepare the way. What should we do? He said to them in reply, "Whoever has 2 cloaks should share with the person who has none, and whoever has food should do likewise." Even tax collectors came to be baptized, and they said to him, "Teacher, what should we do?" He answered them, "Stop collecting more than what is prescribed." Soldiers also asked, "And what is it that we should do?" And he told them, "Do not practice extortion, do not falsely accuse anyone, and be satisfied with your wages." This gospel message reminds me of a man whom many of you know, Father William B. Neenan. This beloved Jesuit and former administrator at Boston College for 35 years went home to God in June of 2014, but his legacy sure lives on in the graces he bestowed. Relentlessly pursuing joy and living the gospel, his charisma had many flocking to him to ask him how to prepare the way. And Father Neenan always responded with a "Hello, friend," and a reason to rejoice. Like John the Baptist, Father Neenan reminded us about the things in life that pull us away from being our best selves. Selfishness, greed, sin, hatred, racism, stubbornness, jealousy, ego, just to name a few. In turn, he offered advice that instilled the peace of God. And one of the greatest lessons of my lifetime was found in a Father Neenan story on how to rejoice in times when joy can be elusive. It was 7 Advents ago, and I had been going through a period of great frustration. I guess you could say I wasn't my best self. Father Neenan noticed, and with a "hello, friend," called me into the warmth of his office. We chatted for a few minutes about the length of the Missouri River, and then he looked at me and said, "So friend, what's going on?" His tender question gave me permission to unleash a litany of reasons for my frustration. When I finished, he looked at me and asked, "Have you ever been to Paris?" At first I was a little startled by the question, thinking, what does Paris have to do with anything? I answered a quick no, and then he leaned back and crossed his hands and looked up as if he were recalling a fond memory. He went on to tell me about his first trip to Paris. He was struck by how wide the busy streets were, gesturing with his long arms. He mentioned that the cars would travel at tremendous speeds, whipping by as if there weren't a pedestrian in sight. He stood on the street corner and wondered aloud, how does anyone make it across the street alive? Then he keenly observed that the pedestrians that stepped off the curb and weaved and dodged into the oncoming traffic, they had the toughest time making it across the street. However, the pedestrians that stepped off the curb, confident and unafraid, walked straight with purpose, and they made it across just fine. He winked and revealed, life is a busy Paris street. We have lots of distractions and challenges that pull us away from what God wants for us. Don't get caught up in the oncoming traffic. Then he leaned over and whispered, "Keep walking straight. God is right behind you. God is right beside you. God is right in front of you. And God is waiting for you on the other side." Nodding, I realized I had just been anointed by his Advent revelation. Life is a busy street, but God's always with us. We can't live joy when we become entangled in things that separate us from receiving God's love and sharing God's love and compassion and kindness with others. When we live joy, we rejoice in the comfort of God's grace. As the second reading reminds us, I shall say it again, rejoice. Your kindness should be known to all. The Lord is near. Have no anxiety at all, but in everything by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving make your requests known to God. Then the peace of God that surpasses all understanding will guide your hearts and minds in Jesus Christ. Joy defines Advent. Father Neenan did too. So rejoice. Let's live Advent. The Christ child is coming soon.
For more Catholic faith resources, follow us at bc.edu/C21 or via Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.